Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today's upload is going to be an episode on the why the South may be colder and well, in general the whole eastern United States will be colder, but why the South may see a little bit more snow in these next couple of weeks. And I'll explain everything in just a minute. If you'd like to support this channel, I know I do this in every video, but it's important. So if you'd like to support this channel, you could do so by subscribing. All you gotta do is hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to support me even more, you could do that by becoming a patron. You just click the link in the description box below, and you'll sign up, and you could do that. That's completely optional. Again, thank you for even considering that. So we're looking at the GFS right now. This is the most newest run, and again, look at this. I'm recording this in 10:10 Friday, Thursday afternoon or Thursday night, basically, and this will be up around 10:30, 10:45 Friday morning. So that's probably when you'll be watching it sometime Friday, maybe Saturday. And this will basically, again, like I mentioned, be about how the South will be seeing some more snow events because the GFS and the European model both have been hinting at some big storms hitting the South potentially, and some of them actually are pretty hefty amounts. So right now, I just want to quickly look at this and see. Look at this, guys. The first key to the snow in the South would be the very cold temperatures. The 540 thickness line is usually where the rain snow transition is, and look at that, the 540. See that? Hopefully you can see that. It's right there. I don't know if I draw this out. It's right in there. There's a 540. This isn't the best screen recorder, so you may not see that, but it's extending right along here and reaching its way into the Gulf Coast, almost the Gulf Coast, and it will continue to do so and stay there as the Arctic air pushes further and further south. While that happens, there's a big storm that will be occurring. Let's exit out of this to the north, and this will bring several inches of snow to Illinois, Wisconsin, areas that haven't seen a lot of snow, Minnesota. It's sort of a hybrid type of clipper. It is a clipper, but it has more moisture and strength with it, and it's going to have a lot more vigor with it, bringing several inches of snow to the Midwest, Chicago, cities like Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison, Lansing, Michigan, Detroit, Des Moines, Iowa, maybe right on the rain snow line. Minneapolis probably seeing some snow out of this as well. This passes through, moves up the northeast coast, doesn't really turn it into a snowstorm. Just see, look at this. It drags a front down. This is where it gets really interesting. So we had this with this just past storm, Winter Storm Indra. That's what the Weather Channel called it, and it was a storm where there's a front. It didn't make it way south, all the way to the south, the cold air with the snow, but this system has much more cold air behind it. So I do think this is actually fairly plausible right here. The windy.com, I just say that. That's where the European model, I access it. The European model, I should rather say, also is hinting at this. This is not going to be a major snowstorm, but it could produce several snow showers as far south as you could see northern Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana behind this. And that moves off into the further east coast. And look at that cold air, 540. That's a freezing line. Very, very. This Arctic outbreak right here, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, is going to be absolutely ridiculously cold. The coldest weather in the Midwest and the East for possibly 24 years here for Chicago. Some of the coldest weather in 2 decades. 2 decades. So very, very dangerous. I would not be surprised if school is canceled. Actually would be surprised if school wouldn't be canceled. So definitely stay prepared for that. Get prepared, because if you have outdoor activities, if you need to be outdoors, it's not going to be fun at all. It's going to be downright dangerous. So let's look at the snowfall totals. This only goes out to hour 144. I'll show you the other GFS run to show you the total snowfall. But let's just see what that little band of snow can leave behind. You can see the GFS is very vigorous with this, leaving up to almost 2 inches in central Alabama, Mississippi, northwestern parts of Georgia this time around, and a little bit more snow maybe into Kentucky, Tennessee, and West Virginia, but a little bit more for the interior Northeast. And look at that, quite a bit of snow for the Midwest. So Chicago this year has been seeing quite a bit of snow already. I know many locations haven't been seeing a lot of snow, major cities like Boston and New York, but Chicago this year has lucked out when we've seen quite a bit of snow. But again, the thing is, guys, with New York City, I've looked at back at the records. For the past 6 winters, you have seen above average snow. So for one year or another, it's gonna basically stop. It's not gonna continue going above average every single year. That just wouldn't. That's just not how it works. That wouldn't make that the new average would be completely different if that was to occur. So this year, I guess, is the year where New York City won't get that much snow. I'm not saying you won't get much snow later on in the season. You might, but I would not be surprised if you don't get much more snow, because that's just how some winters look like. Especially if you had 6 above average at winters for the past couple of years. For the past 6 years, its probability is very low of the seventh winter to be above average as well. So let's go back to our 18Z model run. Sorry if I'm a little bit off today. Right now it's very late at night and I need to get up early tomorrow in the morning, so I am pretty tired, but I wanted to get this video out nevertheless. So we basically, the GFS has uh, wasn't really so aggressive with these snowfall amounts of model run before that. It has now really ramped up on those snowfall totals in the south. But again, it wouldn't be a major snowstorm, but a couple of snow showers, flurries, even a couple of inches is possible. And as we see, it only goes out to hour 240, so no major accumulations up until then, according to this model run. But if we go to the MSLP rain and frozen, we could see what they have in store. So earlier, the FE3 GFS was also showing some rain, snowy. Look at that. It's potentially an icing event here in the southern Ohio Valley. We could be seeing some snow in North Carolina, Virginia. Look at that. Another system possibly pulling out into Oklahoma, Arkansas. How about the deep south? People are probably wondering, how about here in southern Alabama, maybe in northern Florida? Well, the FV3 GFS was actually hinting at that. I think it was this model run, because I've looked at so many model runs for the past couple of days that I actually got a little bit, or for the past couple of minutes before this video, that I actually got confused which ones were showing which. So I think this one was, okay, so this one, FE3 GFS, is showing the Clipper, hybrid Clipper up to the north, and is not really showing the band of snow what the GFS is showing, but develops a different type of system, and look at that. This is around the time frame where it's going to be very cold, very, very deep down into the United States. You could see the 540 line. Where can I find that? It's a little bit hard to see through all the colors. 540 line, some right in there, right through there. Again, that would mean that this would be all snow, and to the south of that, that would be rain. We see some ice, and look, it potentially gets down all the way to the Gulf Coast states, to the beach areas. So this is definitely a storm that we'll have to keep an eye on. I'm not really having any storm in particular right now. My eye on, other than a hybrid Clipper in the north. For the south, at least, nothing yet, because I'm just making this video just to warn you that there could be systems in the future that bring this in, like another system potentially to the Ohio Valley, or later on. Then we get maybe a little bit quiet period, and then another snowstorm, and potentially look at another Clipper making its way into the south. So a definitely interesting period heading for the south and the southeast. Maybe not the southwest really, but that is due to the fact that it's going to be warmer there, because the pattern right now is a huge ridge in the west. It's going all the way up into Alaska, and we are going and it's diving down like this and moving up the east coast. So it's keeping most of these storms away from the east coast. It's just not going to occur that well for the nor'easters. It's going to keep you dry over here, especially the coastal areas. So that's not good news if you're a snow lover. Let's resume recording. And I always try keeping these videos around a 10, 11, 12-minute mark. So let's go to 8 to 14-day outlook. No, let's quickly go to the 6 to 10-day outlook. So look, very cold. That's obviously, most people already know for that. About that, very cold all the way down to the southeast. And even though it's going to be below average, you may be wondering, MEGC Combo, why are you telling us it's going to be snowier when it's cold, but it's a below average? Just because it's below average, which typically comes with cold, doesn't mean that you won't see any precip. For the amount of, if you were to see above average precip with this cold, that would be very concerning. You would be maybe seeing several snowstorms that would be big and producing several feet of snow in the south, which would be ridiculous. So if you're a snow lover, maybe that would be good, but most people in the southeast don't like the snow. And looking at this, below average doesn't mean you'll see massive amounts of precip, but still could a good snowstorm or two could still definitely produce out of this below average precip with this cold weather. The Southwest may be getting a little bit more active again, as we you could see the pattern. Even though it should technically be blocking it, some storms will be getting through and getting through California, getting into California, and the northern U.S. potentially being a little bit more snowier. And I say snowier, not even wet, because look at these temperatures. That would be really cold. And let's zoom out of this, and it would be really cold, so all of this would fall as snow, basically. Let's go to the 8 to 14 day outlook. This is from February 1st to the 7th. And a little bit less confidence. That's natural because it's a little bit more further out, but maybe a little bit more of the pattern gets a little bit pushed out. The jet stream, instead of running somewhere between Wyoming, Colorado, and Texas, now running through the plains in Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, and the cold being a little bit pushed further to the east. But look, the southeast still being a little bit below average, but look at that. Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana being above average, coupled with not so warm temperatures, still fairly chilly, so we could still be definitely looking at a snowstorm or two out of that. So definitely, I would say chilly conditions for the south, and mainly, obviously, the east, but I already made videos on that, but very potentially very snowy for the south. Let's quickly go to the European model. I have windy.com pulled up. I really like this website because it has a European model and it's for free, unlike some websites that make you pay for it. And let's go to the next 5 days. So you can see that the European model has a similar setup with the GFS, that it leaves behind a couple of inches of snow with that first system. Here it leaves more snow, obviously, up to the north, more moisture, more strength, and more cold. Here, a little bit less, but still, we could squeeze out 2 to 3 inches of snow across Mississippi and Tennessee and Arkansas, Louisiana. We'll definitely have to watch that. Next 10 days, we see a little bit more snow, but the European model has jumped all around this. Atlanta, maybe 1.2 inches. Central Alabama, 1 inch, I should rather say. And the European model is fairly good, usually with the snowstorms and the snow amounts. So I would not be surprised if there would be snow in the south and there would be videos coming in to and all around the web. I mean, look at that, almost down to the Gulf Coast, several tenths of an inch of snow. So that's basically it for today's video, guys. I just wanted to give you an update on what the situation is looking like for the south and why they may be seeing more snow. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you'd like to even support my channel even more. Consider becoming a patron. And I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.